Hello YouTube, I'm back with the rest of my life story. I'm now giving you updates in reference to my son, my oldest son. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. In reference to my oldest son, he got out of the SIP program on the 10th of September. And I took him to get a haircut. In the program, they gave me his medication and his discharge documents and stuff. I didn't know that he was going to be discharged because I thought we was going to have court. But we didn't have court. They just called me and told me to pick him up on the 10th. I went and picked him up again, got him a haircut or whatnot. And I took him to get some shoes and we went to the beach. All this took place in Miami. But the SIP program that he was in Fort Lauderdale. And basically, he's been, playing the game when we got home to Georgia and getting on a trampoline. Today I took him to the gym. There was this odd guy who was playing this weird random music. And I told my son, I said, "Do you hear that music?" And he said, "Yeah, I hear it." I said, "You don't have earplugs?" He said, "No, I don't have earplugs on hand." I was like, "Oh, okay, because I would like for you to block that tone out. I don't like it. It's kind of creepy. It's kind of disturbing." And then the car, the person that was actually playing the music drove in front of the Crunch Fitness gym. And when they drove in front of the Crunch Fitness, in front of the gym, by the time I blinked, the guy jumped out of the car, and it was just me and my 15-year-old and my 1-year-old. And when he jumped out of the car, he had something in his hand, and he was blasting the music. And the people, I told my children, I say, "Hurry up, get inside, get inside." And the people in the Crunch Fitness that works there was looking like, what is going on with this strange guy? And all of them came outside. And when they came outside, we went inside. And got there a little too early because the daycare area was closing. So we had to go back after that. But anyway, this guy was giving the people at Crunch Fitness a hard time as well, playing his music and ranting whatever he had in his hands and stuff like that. So basically he literally parked, stopped out of nowhere, parked, played the music, it's all out, and then he opened this car door, and he stood right in front of me and my son, my 2 children. And when he sat right in front of my 2 children, excuse me, I apologize. When he sat right in front of my 2 children, I was like, "Oh, what is this?" And then he had something in his hands. Then my kids and I went in the gym, and then, of course, we had to leave and go back later. But when we was leaving out, I noticed that, I was going to say, I had noticed that the police was outside taking a report. And it really bothered me. That was one of the weirdest moments that I've experienced, especially being with my children. Move on. So yeah, I had today, I'll say about 1 o'clock. Okay, about 1 o'clock. There was, we did an intake. We did an intake for my son so he can go ahead and get his psych evaluation done and do family therapy and individual therapy. That came to pass as well. That was around 1 o'clock today, which is September 13th. And we were talking about the 15-year-old. Okay, now, my son, he was being disobedient. and basically sticking his hands in things that he had no business sticking his hands in. And I asked him to give me his phone. And he won't be able to go to the music studio until he gets his grades up and focus more on his education and football. He said, I'm going to call my dad. And, of course, again, when we were in Miami, he asked to see his cousins at his paternal aunt's house. I didn't think it would be a good idea, but I know he had to get his clothes. And I know those are his cousins. And before we went back to Georgia, he would want to see them. So he got his clothes. He's seen his cousins. You know, everybody was... I did not let them get Sergio. They don't even know Sergio. Sergio don't know his dad, you know, and yeah. So I did not let them get Sergio, but I noticed that the paternal uncle had Jemani, and then June, my 15-year-old, Jemani is my 10-year-old. My 15-year-old wound up at his aunt's house. He was still there, and my 15-year-old was with the paternal uncle. And I'm like, what is this? I just said I was on my way, and it's like, you know, there's too much manipulation going on, and I don't deserve this. I just came to get my son, let him see you guys, and I'm gone. You know, we can try it again and repeat it if it's healthy. You know, if we can co-parent about it, of course. So anyway, let's move on with that. I got my son. I went back to Georgia. Well, my son, remember I told you my son wanted to get his phone when he was being disobedient. He asked to speak to his dad. Now, he went outside to speak to his dad. So I went behind him after a while. And when I put my ear to the phone, his dad was telling him to give me a hard time, to play the game, and to please, you know, play that mind game, per se. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, wow. Play with me mentally? That's what we're doing to our son? Disrespect me? Keep doing what he's doing? And then by the time I blink, he was already ready to tell him how to do the right thing. And I think, if we would do that to begin with, we wouldn't have a child that was so confused, whether it was spiritually or physically. I don't think it's fair to him, because I'm not saying every situation and everybody's perfect, but the goal is to teach a child in the way that they should go, so that way they should not depart from it. Now, if we're not at least working on accomplishing that goal, or at least getting to the bottom of it, I think that at the end of the day, now you're leading him astray. And I don't really think it's cool at all. I don't think it's fair, because last time, if I was in Miami, last time he ran away because you told him to run away. I had screenshots sent to the case manager, judges, everybody, because he turned around and said, okay, I need you to disrespect her. Yeah, disrespect her harshly. And it was all because I didn't want to be with him, and I didn't want him under the same roof as me. As a narcissist. Bad entity that I didn't want to deal with. And I'm calling it just what I see it as. I know the same individual that was standing over me, choking me nearly to death to my body numbed. And his pupils was bigger than my forehead. So basically, I don't want to deal with a narcissist. This is the darkest energy I could deal with. And I don't want to deal with it. If I can co-parent with it, I've tried and I've been waiting on a year, 2 years almost to co-parent. And it all leads up to this. Guys, lay around. I'll let you know the rest of my life story. I'll add more. Thank you. God bless. Good night.